And today we're going to go through the basics of tuning and changing radios for SRS in conjunction with SRS. This is going to have a specific focus on the Enigma server, but this will work on any multiplayer environment that you're involved in. So the first thing that's important, and many people will know this from just using SRS in general, is Control-Shift-Escape is going to bring up our menu here so that we can check that everything's working as it's supposed to. I'm going to bring it into the center of the screen to make things easier to see as I move switches around and such. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is let's close the door and let's look at our key bindings here. So let's go to Adjust Controls. Okay, so the first thing we're going to look at here is the SPU8, which is our ICS Radio Source Select. So because I have a rotary switch on my throttle, I have chosen to bind every radio to a specific switch position on that rotary switch. If you don't have that, or you don't wish to use one, you can select this counterclockwise and clockwise source select, and that will allow you to toggle between frequencies there, or radios, I should say, sorry. And so on to the next step here, we are going to search VoIP. And I put two P's on there. So for this, the VoIPs are going to allow you to actually transmit over SRS once you've selected a radio with the SPU8 panel there. So first off, we're going to have our ICS switch. This is how you would communicate with the gunner in the front seat, our intercom system. On most helicopters, this is going to be the first stage of your trigger. The second stage of your trigger will be for actual radio transmissions. This is the radio VoIP radio trigger. Okay, so now that we've gone over the basics of setting up all that stuff, all of our keybinds, let's start it up, get the radios on, and we will flip some switches and make things happen. All right, so let's turn on our batteries, our power from battery, inverter system, our right panel, our left panel, and then these four switches on the radio navigation panel. And so those are up, and now we can start talking about the radios once Betty shuts up here. Okay, she's quieted down there. So the first thing we're going to look at here is the 863. The 863 is only two controls that you have to worry about here. This is the volume. A lot on Enigma, this channel might be very busy, so we can usually turn it down quite a bit once we've done a radio check on it. And second is going to be our channel. We usually keep this on 124 as standard by Enigma. This will be so we can talk to just about everybody on that frequency. Okay, so with the 863 covered, let's move back to the Jadro. So let's hit the Jadro on, which is this switch to the center position. So now we'll see here that we have 2 megahertz AM up on the Jadro. You can adjust your volume here, and you can adjust your frequency here as well. So there's 3, 3.1, 3.2. We usually run it on 2 as standard, but if there's bigger flights and things like that, you might be asked to push 2.1 or 3, 3.1, 3.2, and so on. Okay, so moving back here, this is our 828. We can change the channel with this knob here. We usually run it on channel 2, which is 27. It's set by default on 30, but notice that when I change the switch dial, it does not change the frequency of the radio that we're on. So let's go to channel 2 here and press this AUT button, and we will see, yep, now we are on 27 Fox Mike. Okay, the final radio that we do not really use at all is down here. This is the 852. Figured I'd cover it as well. Volume knob here on the left, and on the right we have 4 preset channels that we can select through, and those will automatically change. So that's how that one works. A side note is that you'll see this rotary dial switch move as you're changing radios. I don't actually like having the SRS up when I fly. I think it kind of kills a little bit of the immersion, so we could go Control-Shift-Escape again to get rid of that. and I would just know I'm on the right radio by checking this panel before I transmit to make sure I'm not calling out on the wrong frequency. Okay, so that's the basics of using the radios in the Mi-24 in conjunction with SRS to transmit and talk to other people and do tactical flights. So, yep, thanks for listening.